Hello and welcome to the video lecture series brought to you by St. Andrews Institute of Technology and Management. My name is Ravinder. I am an assistant professor with ETC department, and today we are going to discuss the topic of expressions. We are discussing the subject called programming for problem solving in C. So we are going to discuss the expressions that we used in C language. Okay, so let's move ahead to the notes. Okay, now a very small topic before moving on to the expression, that is comments in C. In the first lecture, or I would say in the second lecture, we have already discussed how to insert comments inside the code, but let me briefly again revise that. The comments in C language are used to provide the information about the line of the code, and it is widely used in documenting the code. There are two types of comments in C language, that is single line comments and multi-line comments. So comments is basically, if I try to insert a comment here, for example, above this printf statement. So this comment is trying to tell us that this particular line of code, that is the syntax, is actually trying to print some information, and that information is hello C. Okay, so comments are mainly ignored by the compiler while compiling your code. Okay, so it's just an information of the to some alien coder who hasn't seen your application before, to make it understand or to understand the code faster. Okay, so this is just a representation in the language, English language, which is used to be inserted in between the syntax lines, and these are mostly, or every time you try to run your application, these lines or the comments line will be ignored by your compiler. Okay. So how to put comments in the line? One method we have already seen is the multi-line comments, which will start with your backslash star and star backslash, and in between these two symbols you can insert as many much lines of comment as you want. Okay, but if you want to include only a single line comment, all you have to do is, at the beginning, you have to insert a forward slashing, forward slashes. Now two forward slashes in conjunction will indicate that this particular line will be a comment now, but not the next line. Please see that I haven't closed this comment like in the multi-line comment here. Okay. So this is used to insert only a single line comment, but if you try to insert a multi-line comment like this, then you have to use this backslash star and star backslash constraints. Okay, we have already seen how to insert them, and we have already demonstrated that these comments are ignored by the application or the compiler. So you will be encountering the comments in this course again and again, so no need to worry about them. This is going to be a habit of yours for some time. Okay. I think this is flawed. You may correct that. Now it's coming back to the main topic, that is expressions. We have already seen one example of expression in our second lecture, in which I have demonstrated to you how a very basic C language code or application looks like. In that, we have added two numbers together, that is two variables together, A and B, and then assigned the result to a variable, a third variable. Now that complete line of syntax is actually called an expression. So expression is combination of operands connected by operators and parentheses. So operands are the properties on which you are trying to apply some formulation. Okay, like variable A and variable B are the operands, and you want to add the values inside those two variables. So A and B will be operands, and the summation symbol that you have used to add those two numbers or the variable values is actually called the operator. Okay, and Parenthesis means you can every now and then you can use these brackets, your circular brackets, to manipulate the expression. The expression is more or less like your mathematical equation, if I say so, and you have seen them in plenty in your whole life. So that is what we are going to see here. How these expression here are different from your mathematical expressions or equations, if you call them. So first is your integer expression. These will be almost in 95 to 96% of the expressions that you are going to see. Other expressions you are going to see in abundance will be your conditional uh, or your logical expressions. Okay, like some condition, whether that condition is true or false. Okay, or some logical expression we'll see in next in few lectures from now. So let's move on. Now we are first at the integer expression, or sometimes called the arithmetic expressions. So the rules are your integer division, multiplication, and remainder operators are highest level of preference, and so these operators will be operated first. Now, in the first or the third lecture, I have shown you, that is the prerequisites lecture, that how many operators do we have. Okay, that can be used, or special symbols that have its own meaning, that can be used for expressions. Now we have some arithmetic operators with us. Let me show you the list of them. Okay. So there we are. Almost each one of these operators you have seen in your life. These are all, almost each one of them are used in your mathematics, or in your logical mathematics, or in your arithmetic expressions or equations in your high school mathematics, or in your 10th or 11th mathematics, that is whatever. Okay, so these are the brackets that we have used, or the parentheses we used to enclosed some portion of our equation, and then the pre-post increment, pre-post decrement, not, and minus, unary minus, single minus. We will encounter those, and I will show you what is their exact meaning in the next few lectures. Then you have the multiplication, integer division, and remainder. In your addition, we have already used that, and your minus, or the difference, then greater than, less than, greater than equal to, less than equal to. This is used for equating two expressions. That is, if to the right hand side of this symbol and to the left hand side of these symbols, the expression of the right hand side is equal to the expression on the left hand side, then it will return true, otherwise it will return false. So we have seen that this single sign actually indicates the assignment operator. We have already seen that, but double of that actually indicates the equating symbol, or the equal symbol that you call it. And this is your not equal, and then your or, not, and logical and, not, and or symbols. Okay. Okay. So as you will see that the topic here is the precedence in C operators. Precedence means if in a single equation we have more than one symbols used, then how you are going to decide which of the following parts of the expression that you are going to solve first, or your compiler is going to solve first. Obviously, you don't have to solve them; compiler is going to solve them, or application is going to. So, but if you don't know what is the actual precedence of these operators, you may end up of writing an expression which results in a different way than you have thought. Okay, you have written in your mathematical equations in your whole life by keeping in mind the BODMAS rule, that is bracket open, division, multiplication, addition, subtraction rule. Now these kind of rules are called precedence in C operators. Okay? Not actually the BODMAS rule is being followed here, but we have given the precedence. So your parentheses are given the top priority. So in a large expression, if there are multiple parentheses present, So first of all, the parenthesis, what is inside the parenthesis will be solved first by the compiler, no matter what. And that too, if there are multiple parentheses present in a single expression, then the parenthesis to the leftmost will be solved first, or been taken care of first, then the next one, then the next one coming on to the rightmost. Okay. And secondly, uh, the post-increment, increment, pre-increment symbols, we'll see to it what they are. And then at the third level, we have multiplication, integer division, and your remainder. If all of them are in a single line or a single expression, then again the rightmost operator will be executed first or been taken care of first. Then after coming to the right hand side, and then the precedence, on order of precedence, we have addition and subtraction. So in a way, if in a single expression you have multiplication and addition and your subtraction operators used, then first we have to deal with your multiplication, because in the order of precedence, the multiplication operator has the order of third, and summation and difference operators have the order of fourth. So it's like board mass there. Okay, so bracket of division and multiplication comes first, then your addition and subtraction. So this is kind of that. Okay, so this is not just a sequel number or a series number or sequence number. This is actually the order of precedence. So first of order of precedence, or the highest priority, is given to the parenthesis, then your urinary operators, then your multiplication, division, and then your summation. And in that too, because we have seen at a single level of priority, we have multiple operators. So the rule of solving from left to right will be there. Okay. And if you find any difficulty that what is the actual order, you can always refer to this table. The notes are with you, and according to the order of precedence, you try to write the expression that will yield in the result you have wanted. So don't try to write your expression according to your mathematics rules. C language has its own order of precedence, and it must be followed. If it is not followed, then it may be possible that you have an error, or if not, then the result of your equation or your expression might not be the desired one. Okay. First, let's we are now here. So the first line again tells us that your integer division, your multiplication, and your remainder operators have highest level of preference. So these operators will be operated first, and so on according to the list. And when operators have same precedence, then evaluation is carried out from left to right. We have already talked about that. And parentheses will be used to overcome the precedence. Okay, so suppose in this particular line, as you know that multiplication, integer division, and remainder will be executed or taken care of first, rather than this this addition and this subtraction, because these three have higher order of precedence. But if you put a parenthesis between, let's say 5 plus 5, that is like this, 5 plus 5 like this, then according to the order of precedence, this bracket, this parenthesis has to be solved first, and then the from left to right, then 4 must be multiplied to the 10, and after that it must be divided by the 2. So the whole meaning of that will change. Okay, so you can always use those parentheses. So let's see an example. Now in this example, we have the third, the order of precedence of multiplication, integral, division, and remainder remains at the same level, and summation and difference has a lower order of precedence as compared to other ones. And because these three operators, multiplication, integral, division, and remainder, has actually same order of precedence, so we'll follow the rule of taking care of, or execution from left to right. So to the leftmost side, we have 4 multiplied by 5. That will result in 20. Okay, and then addition, which will be left to the next level. First, we'll divide this 5 integer division of with respect to 2. As I told you, it is an integer division, so The actual result, if it's in mathematics, would result in actually 2.5. But because this is an integer division, we will floor the value. Floor the value means instead of writing 2.5, we will first shed the decimal part, that is 0.5, and then uh, round it up to the nearest lower value, that is 2 instead of 3. So instead of writing 3 of 2.5, we will actually write 2 instead of 2.5. So we have shed the decimal part and floored the value. Floor. Okay, floor and seal means your chat, like. Okay, so floor and ceiling are the two concept. If you try to seal the concept, CEIL, seal the concept, then the decimal value or the float value will be rounded off to the nearest highest integer. Okay, that is if it is 2.5, then will be considered as 3, and if we have floored the value, then 2.5 will be considered as 2. Okay, so the result of this will be 5 divided by 2 will be 2, and we have already got 20 from here. And this is a special operator. You must have known it by percentage or at risk operator, but it actually defines a remainder in C. So remainder means if I try to divide 9 by 2, then what would be the remainder at the end of it? It is not concerned about the quotient. It is concerned about the remainder only. So if I try to divide 9 by 2, it will result in remainder of 1. So the value of 3 is actually 1. So 20 plus 2 and minus 1. So 20 plus 2, again we have left only with two operators, that is 1 plus 2 minus 3. Now these two are of same order of precedence, so we'll again go from left to right. So first 1 plus 2, that is 20 plus 2, 22, and then 22 minus 1 will result in 21. So that is it, the answer is 21. So this is how an expression will be tackled on by the compiler. It depends how you are dealing with. By adding the parentheses, you can change the meaning. That is, if I add a parenthesis between these two 5, or I enclose 5 plus 5 inside the parenthesis, then the whole meaning of this will be changed. In that case, first I have to solve the parentheses no matter what is inside that. So 5 plus 5 will be 10, and then 4 multiplied by 10 will be 40, and 40 divided by 2 will be 20. Okay, so this whole will result in 20. Yeah. And then 20 minus 1, the answer will be 90. So you see, by adding the parentheses, I have changed the final output of the expression. You can also do that. So keep these things in mind. Now let's go to the escape sequence. I think we have covered the escape sequence in our one of the last lectures in the prerequisites, I think. But again, I will go over this topic. Now, escape sequence in C language is a sequence of characters that doesn't represent itself when used inside a string, literal, or a character. It is composed of 2 or more backslashes characters starting with a backslash. 2 or more characters starting with a backslash. Okay, they'll always start with a backslash. If you try to insert them inside a, let's say, a string, they will not be printed because they have a special meaning. They have a special task to do. They are not just symbols. We have already used one escape sequence, that is the new line, that is backslash n. It means a new line. So anything before it will be printed on the same line, and anything that is after this backslash n will be printed to a new line. Okay, but this backslash n will not be there in your output. It just signifies that it has a meaning called new line, and it has a task to perform. It doesn't have its own value in the output. Okay, so these are called escape sequences. We have large one of them, that is backslash p means backspace, and new line for backslash n, backslash t for tab. These are the few of them that we'll use, and I myself haven't used most of them. Instead, the new line, the tab, the backslash, single and double quotes are mostly used. Okay, so we'll use them with time to time. There's no hurry not to remember them. There's no hurry in remembering them. So let's try to solve a few questions. We haven't seen them. Let's take the first example here. We have multiple operators used in this expression. Let me again tell you, this 3, 5, 2, 6, 9, 3, 2, 3, 3 are called operands, and these operators and the operators which work on operands and try to churn out a logical or arithmetical values called expression. Okay. So as you can see, we have fewer times multiple and integer division, and remainder operators used. So all of these are of same order of precedence, and we have summation and difference. They are of lower order of precedence, so they will be solved next. So first we'll have to solve this multiply, integer division, and this remainder operators. We have to take care of them, but as because they are of same order of precedence, so we have to tackle them from left to right. So coming on from the left, we have encountered 3 multiplied by 5. And remember, this and this have almost same order of precedence. So we have to tackle them from left to right. Okay. So 3 multiplied by 5 is 15, and 15 integer divided by 2 will result in 7.7 instead of 7.5. And then addition, we don't have to tackle that now. Then we have 6 multiplied by 9, that is 54. Okay, and then remainder 3, which results in 0, because 54 division by 3 doesn't result in any remainder. And then the second this particular expression here, this smaller expression here between these two addition summations will result in 0. Okay, so 7 plus 0 until now, and then plus 2 multiplied by 3, that is 6, and minus 3. So it is 7 plus 0 plus 6 and minus 3. So 7 plus 0 is 0, and plus 6 is 13, and minus 3 will again result in 10. So 10 is the right answer. In that way, you can solve this expression. You can solve this expression as an exercise. Don't try to look at the answers. All of these expressions, the result of this expression are yielded because we have followed the order of precedence. Order of precedence is must. Okay. Now these kind of questions may came as a 1 mark or 2 mark question in your exam, so they are quite important. I think we have done with the expressions. Yeah, now we are done with the expressions, and in the next lecture we'll try something else. Okay, I'll try to finish the unary operators and type conversion, a few of the small topics left, and after that we'll start the conditional statements, and we'll actually try to start implementing all this information in last few lectures into a code. We'll again try to switch to the IDE in next lecture. Thank you.